Hey there, if you're staring at a catalog or scrolling through endless chair options and thinking, I don't want to waste money on the wrong office chair, you're not alone. I've been there, especially when you spend a good chunk of a month's rent on a seat that ends up feeling like a stiff board after a few hours. The big question is whether the Steelcase gesture, wrapped in that sleek nickel finish fabric with a black frame, actually lives up to the hype for someone who sits at a desk most of the day. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's set the scene. Imagine you've got a home office set up in a converted bedroom, a hardwood floor, a dual monitor rig, and you're toggling between writing, spreadsheet crunching, and occasional video calls. You want a chair that won't throw your lower back out of whack after a couple of hours, but you also don't want to end up with a seat that squeaks every time you shift weight. The gesture is marketed as an all-day comfort solution with fully adjustable arms and seat depth, plus a synchronized back mechanism that supposedly moves with you. The promise is that you'll get a chair that adapts to your posture whether you're leaning forward on a deadline or leaning back with a coffee. Who should actually consider this chair? If you're a remote worker who spends at least 6 to 8 hours a day at your desk, the adjustable features start to matter. The seat depth slider lets you move the cushion forward or back so your hips stay supported without crushing your knees. The fully adjustable arms can be raised, lowered, forward, and inboard, which is handy if you alternate between a keyboard and a drafting tablet. Folks who have a mixture of tall and short days, maybe you stand up for a while and then sit again, might appreciate the ability to tweak the chair without getting up. The 12-year warranty also gives a signal that Steelcase expects this chair to hold up under serious, daily use. On the flip side, if you're only at a desk for a couple of hours a day or you already have a decent ergonomic chair that works for you, the gesture might be overkill. Its price point sits well into the premium tier, so the value proposition hinges on you actually using those adjustments. Someone who doesn't mind a fixed arm height or who prefers a minimalist aesthetic without the nickel-wrapped back might find the extra features unnecessary. Also, because the frame is fairly robust, assembling it can feel a bit like putting together a small piece of furniture. There's no plug-and-play shortcut. If you're not comfortable with a 30-minute assembly, you might prefer a chair that arrives fully assembled. Now, let's dig into real-world strengths. The biggest win here is the synchronized movement of the seat and back. In my own testing, after sitting for an hour, the backrest began to tilt just enough to relieve pressure on the lumbar region without you having to reach for a levers. That subtle shift feels natural, almost like the chair is reading your posture. For people with lower back issues, that can make a noticeable difference compared to a static chair that forces you to manually recline. The Upholstered 100% polyester Connect fabric holds up surprisingly well against the usual office wear, coffee spills, ink stains, and the occasional pet hair. It's not a leather surface you have to keep wiping down, and the black color hides dust pretty well. Another practical advantage is the caster wheels. They're marketed for carpet, but I tried them on a polished hardwood floor with a thin rug. The wheels rolled smoothly and didn't leave scuff marks, which is a relief if you have a mixed floor setup. The chair also feels stable when you shift your weight quickly, which matters if you're prone to bouncing a bit as you type. The 12-year warranty is more than a promise, it's a safety net that lets you replace minor components like the adjustable arm pads without a headache. Behind the positives, there are a few trade-offs that can bite you if you don't pay attention. The seat depth adjustment moves the whole seat forward, which can be a little clunky when you're already deep into a task. You need to stand up, reach behind, and slide the knob, then settle again. It's not a quick tap-and-go adjustment and might be a nuisance if you find yourself constantly shifting position. The armrests, while fully adjustable, are a bit heavier than on some lighter weight chairs, so moving them can feel like you're handling a small dumbbell. If you're looking for a featherlight chair you can push around the room, that's not this model. Lastly, the chair's back height is generous, great for taller users, but if you're under 5 feet 4 inches you might find the backrest feeling a tad too tall, even after lowering it as much as the mechanism allows. A couple of everyday scenarios illustrate the value. Picture you're on a marathon Zoom call that stretches past lunch.